Zero podcast. And I just wanted to give you all a quick little update for our third collector booster box opening. Remember, we are looking for cards to build none other than the Desert Travel deck that is Huma, Proud Protector. So far in our first two boxes, yeah, we've got some good stuff, I guess, sort of sorcery and war and peace and whatever it's called. I don't know, whatever the sword is called in this set. And some other good little things, but what we're really focusing on is what can we do to get that desert southwestern flavor. And so here's the update. So all the cards we got some great lands. We got this here great train heist card, which kind of gives us extra combat steps. We got an unlicensed hearse just driving crazy through the streets to protect ourselves from those graveyard shenanigans. And we also got us a Bristol Bill and a Tower Winder right here. Both great cards, both oozing that desert flavor. And of course, the Marshal. He's going to keep everybody under wraps, make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing in the streets of our town. Well, here we are. We're going to move on, get the third box of Outlaws Thunder Junction. Hello everybody, it's about 6 o'clock here in the morning. We're going to do our third booster box opening for Outlaws of Thunder Junction, a set that I've been playing a lot of draft in, and been finding some real gems. In fact, I can honestly say that in a 5-color deck, that 3-mana green rock that gains you life for every pip, every different color pip, is powerful. It is that is a very useful card in a deck that plays 4 or 5 colors. So I would definitely run with that. That's a standout, strange, kind of like on the edges card that I wouldn't have thought of being good, but that incidental life gain, and I think Taylor would agree with me, is pretty excellent. So in these packs, we go from back to front. First pack, we're going to find all of our commons right here. So we're also looking for stuff to fill out the flavor of Yuma. So any kind of desert stuff we might take a look at. But I'll try to point out some of the highlights. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of drafts here, so I'm more familiar with the cards at this time. So the slots from here on out go land, uncommon, wanted poster. We've got Tornado and Tyrant Scorn. So I'll leave some of those up there since these are the bigger hits. And then we've got rares. So I think we've got 5 rares in the pack. We've got rare, and then we've got usually a commander card. So this comes out of the commander precons, but it's usually an extended art frame, which is neat. Then we've got a primal command, a Path to Exile shiny, and this little token right here. So look at that. That's pretty. That'll be an upgrade into our deck. Right now we got the Prosperity Junction or Prosperity Post unfoil one. So that'll be pretty cool. This High Noon card here that we're looking at says each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. That may be good. We'll see. So here we go. 4 commons in pack 2. We've got Tumbleweed Rising, Boneyard Desecrator, Razzle Dazzler, really sweet card in limited, and Mirage Mesa. Enters battlefield tapped. As it enters, choose a color. Add 1 mana to chosen color. Very basic land, but it's got that desert flavor, so we'll probably keep that out for Yuma. Then we've got our uncommons. Here we're looking for Lavaspur Boots. That's one of the main cards we're looking for. We haven't found it yet. Prairie Dog, been super happy with that in your white, blue, and white, green draft decks as well. And at Knife Point, gives all your Warm P, Warriors, Assassin, Mercenaries, Pirates, whatever. Yeah, the acronym, First Strike, which is pretty sweet. So now we've got our land, our 2 uncommons, Hindering Light and Murder. We've got Bonnie Paul, Clear Cutter, Double Down. Whenever you cast an outlaw spell, copy that spell. Now, it doesn't describe what outlaw is on this card. I don't know if it's just because it's the extended art or not, but no reminder text means that you do need to remember that acronym, Warm P. How are you ever going to tell people I am copying spells if you don't know what the outlaws are? We ride at dawn. Heck yeah, we do. Legendary creatures you cast have Convoke, meaning you can use other mana pips to kind of tap creatures or permanents to cast them. Archmage's Charm, that's a sweet one. Sees play in Modern for sure, probably other formats as well. And then we've got Hellspur Posse Boss. Don't know if this is good in Commander, but it sure is good in Draft. Pack number 3. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day as we start ours right here. We've got, for our commons, Forlorn Flats, Failed Fording, and a Drake. Then our uncommons, we've got Getaway Glamour, Beast Bond, Outcaster, Crom, Violent Cacophony. Now in the first 2 box openings, if you didn't see them, we didn't get any of the mana drains or anything. So I would love to have one. Who wouldn't, right? So we're going to see if we can pull something like that in these. We've got Clear Shot, Fierce Retribution for our uncommons. Old Tech, Matter Weaver, Human Artificer. Whenever you cast a creature spell, choose one. This is a 2/4. And you create a 1/1 gnome artifact creature token, or you create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control, which is the one that's like way more powerful. So then we've got Sotoru the Infiltrator, Wanted poster frame, and Cactus Preserve, another extended art version of that. Contagion Engine, and Ariette the Beguiler, fancy foily wanted poster art. Contagion Engine I pulled in Draft the other day. That was really funny. It turns out it's still pretty solid, especially when you're going up against a lot of mercenary decks that have a bunch of 1/1s. All right, so we've got our 4 commons in the back. Snakeskin Veil is the one standout in that pack, it seems. Then we've got Raucous Entertainer, a plant bard. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that enter the battlefield this turn if you pay 1 and tap it. I'm thinking that the plant deck is possible in Commander now. Think about this with like Avenger of Zendikar. You're just getting that extra value. We're getting a lot more plants now. It might be a thing. Might be fun to try that out. We are also looking for the little baby cacti that Yuma carries. We have not gotten that in the extended art frame yet, so I would love to get a copy of that. We've got Magda the Horde Master, Fibblethip, our first Fibblethip, extended art. Vengeful Regrowth. This is a really cool one for the plant commander deck. Return up to 3 target lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Create that many 4/2 green plant warrior tokens with reach. And it has flashback for 8, so you cast it for 6 originally. Good way to get board presence and get lands out of the graveyard, which that deck wants to do. Collective Defiance, Outcaster Trailblazer, and for 2 and a green, enters the battlefield at 1 mana of any color, so it can only cost 2. When another creature enters the power of 4 or greater, you draw a card. So it's just like those common Garruk's Uprising on a card, sort of, even though that gives trample. I don't know. I was trying to think of another card that lets you draw whenever you have power 4 or greater enter. So for commons, we have an Eroded Canyon. Cool little desert theme. Gold pan right there. We have Form a Posse, Hellspur Brute, and Stubborn Burrow Fiend for our uncommons. Now we're going to get to the land and our 2 uncommons. We got Terminal Agony. We got another foil Claim Jumper here. We got one of those in the last box, I believe. Seems like a really solid card. Can get you up ahead 2 lands. So instead of just 1, like your usual kind of, oh my goodness. I stopped on Claim Jumper only because I was so excited. We got the extended art for Kiri. Is this worth a lot of money? No, but what we're doing here with this box opening is just trying to get that mad flavor. And by that, I mean extended art. Like the commander decks have, I think, 1 extended art card in them, but often you don't get to see the expansiveness of the painting. And I really prefer this treatment. So I'm really excited to see Kiri in here because that's going to make our desert deck just that much more fun. And we've got Villainous Wealth and a foil Primal Command. Great for my cat decks. I don't know if you can tell from my playmat here I got from Arcade Post, but it has a Cthulhu on it and a baby Cthulhu that he drew right over here. That's because I love cats and I have a cat deck. So we've got 4 commons. We've got 3 uncommons. Bovine Intervention, funny pun kind of thing. Intimidation Campaign, and Resilient Roadrunner. An Intimidation Campaign, great in Draft. Then we've got a land, Cacti Land, perfect. Humiliate, Repulse, our 2 uncommons. Then we got our rares, another foil Sword of Wealth and Power. So we have 2 of these now. I will definitely be trading one off to maybe Carl, who runs the Judith deck, which I think is great. Tiny Bones joins up, little full art non-foil. Enters the battlefield any number of target players each discard a card. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life. We don't have Tiny Bones himself yet, but one day Skeleton Tribal is going to be a thing, ain't it? All right, so we've got Crackling Spellslinger for our commander rare. Then we've got a Thoughtseize. Pretty. Love it. We hadn't gotten one of those yet. And then also a Rush of Dread and an Elk token for old Oko. We got it, literally the old Oko in the last booster box, I believe. So I don't know if I'll play him. I don't love Simic as a color combo, not because it's not good, but just because I get a little bored playing it. Creosote Heath. That's a land I needed for the desert deck. That's the third and final one that we needed. Turns out you only have to buy 3 collector booster boxes, or, just be a normal person and pay the money for just the singles. So we've got Map the Frontier as well. That'll go in for sure. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and or deserts. Put them onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Heck yeah, we're getting all the hits. And again, we're just doing this for fun. I know collector booster boxes are expensive and, it's not for everybody, but I just want you all to be able to join in with me on this. Tarnation Vista. Here's a mythic rare that has gotten some talk. It's tough though, because enters battlefield, you choose a color. Then you can add a mana of that color. Okay, that's fine. And then for 1 tap, for each color among mono-colored permanents you control, you add 1 mana of that color. Whether or not that card is good, it has to have a real specific build to it. A lot of mono-colored cards in a 5-color deck, which seems interesting, but I don't know if it's very good at all. And it kind of taps out as like you can at most make 4 mana extra. So probably not great, to be honest. So probably going to go down in price, but it'll be a fun build around once it gets a little cheaper for people and the hype dies down a little bit. Nykthos, it is not. All right, so we got Take Up the Shield. This is a great card in Limited. If any of you play Limited, it's really important to have something to protect your creatures because there are so many cards that destroy creatures in part because of this sheet. This extra bonus sheet of things is all crimes, which means they're almost all targeting you. And it turns out it's really hard to keep your stuff on the board in this limited format. So we did not get our Lavaspur Boots yet, but we did get an Island, Terminal Agony, and a Journey to Nowhere. Like I said, right? There's uncommon removal all over the place in this set. We've got another Bristly Bill. Very cool. Happy to trade that off. We got a Full Art Aven Interrupter, another Tower Winder, Primal Might, and a foil Surgical Extraction. Look at that skeletal horse. I guess that's my weird horse thing. So we have 4 packs remaining in this here box opening. This will probably be the final one that we do, because after all, we're human beings. And only your big box stores and stuff like that can probably do a few more box openings. But we do have some arranged in the future. So for our desert lands, we have Bucolic Ranch. It has to do with mounts. I don't know how many mounts we're going to have in the desert deck, so that might not see play. Swamp, Ride Down, Hypothesis. But as I was saying before, like we're starting to work something out with our local game store, Gamers Hunt, to be able to do some box openings for them, like with their product. But we'll be able to do it perhaps early, so that if this works out and people enjoy it, I know I enjoy doing them, then we can probably keep doing them with less impact on our own personal budgets. But I've been having fun doing this with y'all anyway. I like gambling. Hey, foil or Full Art Dust Animus. That's a sweet one. We haven't gotten that before. Arcane Heist, Void Rend, and a fancy Notion Thief. Always going to see playing Commander. Don't know how much this little guy is worth, but let me tell you, if you got some people going outrageous with their Simic card draw kind of decks, Notion Thief is the answer for you. Happy to get that card. That's a neat one. All right, so next we've got 3 more packs. Let's go ahead and burst through them. We got Prickly Pear, Giant Beaver, Throw from the Saddle. Then we've got for uncommons, we're still looking for those Lavaspur Boots. Maybe it'll be the final pack, just to be dramatic, huh? Cactus, Sure Shot, Visage Bandit. Now, land, 2 uncommons, Murder and Hindering Light, Rare Step Between Worlds, Esoteric Duplicator. This is an interesting one. Whenever you sacrifice Esoteric Duplicator or another artifact, you may pay 2 colorless. If you do, at the beginning of the next end step, create a token that's a copy of that artifact. And you can pay 2, sacrifice it to draw a card. What this winds up doing is you wind up being able to constantly draw cards throughout the game because it will copy itself after you sacrifice it. Yeah, it's a little bit extra mana, but value does add up. I think it might actually be a pretty solid card. Then we've got Greywater's Fixer, Indomitable Creativity, and a fancy foily ultimate treatment of Tarnation Vista. If only that card was better. Oh well, maybe I can get in early and sell it to somebody who's prospecting out in the wilds. Because I don't buy into it. Maybe it'll be fun. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But I would stake my claim that it is not that great. Thunder Lasso, however, fantastic in Limited. And if you don't play Limited, that's fine, I understand. But I do find it is a good way to get to know the set in and out and find some interesting uncommons or commons that you might put in a commander deck at one point. We've got Riku of Many Paths, Lila, Undefeated Slick Shot, which may be a CDH commander from what I understand at some point. 3 mana, 1 blue-red with Prowess for 3/3. Whenever you cast a multicolored instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that spell instead of putting it into the graveyard. As it resolves, if you do, it becomes plotted, which means you kind of get to accrue it for later. I'm not sure of the CDH build on this. Who knows? Every once in a while you get a commander that comes out with a new set that says like, oh, it'll be CDH probable, but I don't kind of move around in those circles a lot. So, all right, we've got a foil Inspiring Vantage. That's pretty. Boros colors, got the train that runs through Thunder Junction. And here we are, we're winding up, we're going to that final pack. Let's see what our luck holds for us. We got 4 commons, Festering Gulch, Jailbreak Scheme, just kind of like picking a random name. Guess what? No boots at all. This is why you don't buy collector booster boxes, hoping for an uncommon in particular, because they don't really have a lot of uncommon and common slots. They have more rare and mythic slots. So then our final little roundup here. We have Mountain. The 2 uncommons are Decisive Denial, Savage Smash. Our rares, Hell to Pay, Archmage's Newt, a little mount card, Dream Thief's Bandana, Detention Sphere, and a foily Archangel of Ties. Any of those cool cheap tokens are great, but they have the sweet art for the copy, which is kind of like an acid trip. We didn't get any of those, but we got one in the last box. So that's our final pull. I really appreciate you guys joining us. Hope you enjoyed kind of just looking to see what comes out of a collector booster box. It's a fun gamble, but it is a gamble. You know, do it responsibly.